Hey guys, so August is here. How? For starters, how? August is always a very busy month for me, and I am very well aware that lately my uploads have just not been as consistent as they used to be. I'm still uploading, but just later than I want to. Like my roster reveal for August came out late, which is one video that I do like to get out on time before the month even starts, so you know what I'm doing. And I'm really sorry that it didn't come out on time, but I've just been so busy with work. I've not had time to kind of keep up with YouTube and work. It's been one or the other. And sometimes work does have to take priority. But I'm trying to film some useful videos for you guys that I think you'll find interesting and ones that I haven't done before. And today I thought I would do a pack with me for a long haul flight, because packing as cabin crew is a real skill. A skill that I still haven't learnt yet. But I will show you today all the techniques and things that I do to pack my case as efficiently as possible. So the trip that I am packing for today is Los Angeles, and that is a 4-day trip, which I think is a good kind of trip to pack for and show you guys how I pack for it. LA is one of those funny ones. It can be either really hot or it can be on the cooler side, being on the coast, so I need to kind of check the weather really. That's the first thing I do before I pack, to see what I'm going into. So I am going to be going to Los Angeles from Wednesday afternoon, I think I arrive there, and I'm there until Friday afternoon as well, so I do have 2 days there. And over those 2 days it would appear that it's going to be 29 degrees the whole time. Lows of just under 20 and sunny. So that's alright actually, I can deal with that. It's kind of the weather we've been having here at the moment. So that's something I feel like will be quite easy to pack for. It also sounds really silly, but another thing I like to check before I start packing my suitcase is whether the trip is actually still going ahead. It's kind of a routine I got into during COVID. Yeah, so I like to check my roster to make sure there's no changes to the trip, because there's no point packing for a trip, things changing and then having to repack to either change to a new trip or days off. It's just a waste of time. So it's important to do that, I think, beforehand. A little tip for you new starters that are joining my airline or even any other airline to be cabin crew. So for those of you that are kind of new starting cabin crew that want to know what bags I have, so my suitcase is the Samsonite Duo Pack, I think it's called. 4 wheels, so really easy to roll around, and it's quite a decent size. It's a bit wider, but the right size for the overhead lockers in the plane. The only thing is with this case, I loved it when I first got it, but if you put the extender on, it's one of those where it's just going to fall flat on its face, and that's kind of annoying and a little bit embarrassing, especially when you're an overpacker and everything just overweighs at the front, and yeah, that happens very frequently to me. So yeah, I like this case, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. I see a load of people recommending the away suitcases, and I am very, very tempted to get one. I did go into the store in London and have a look at one that I was really interested in, but for now this one is fine. I think I'm just trying to get the away suitcase just as like a trend, but it does look like a really good case. And this bag that I have is the Amazon Basics topper bag, and it has wheels as well, which, oh my god, I could not recommend this bag enough, especially for short haul. Saves my back massively. This one has so many pockets. There's pockets like this either side, there's a pocket at the front, and when I zip both of these down, it folds right out. You've got pockets all in here, and there's so much space in there, so it's really handy. You can just pop it just on top of your suitcase with this little handle right here. It's not a handle, it's like a slit. I don't know what that's called, but it's got one of those, and it's just a really, really good bag that I think is probably the best bag that I've ever bought myself whilst being cabin crew. The only thing is, there is a catch. That one's out of stock. It has been for so long. I got it kind of when it first came out, so I've had it for maybe almost 2 years now actually. And it's been so good. It still looks relatively new. I mean, by the wheels it does look quite scratched up, but for now it's, you know, fine. I don't need to get another one. I don't have the ability to get another one, and I'm so sorry that I'm showing you a bag that you cannot get, but I will try and link it down in my description box, so maybe at one point in the future it may come back into stock, because It's just such a good bag. I don't think I've ever seen a better bag than this. I mean, you can get like the Samsonite ones that are really expensive, but this one I paid £30 for. They did put up the price a bit because the demand was crazy, and I think that was from cabin crew. But if you can get your hands on it, definitely do. I have in the past done a what's in my topper bag. That was literally when I was on furlough though. That tells you how long ago I did that video. But if you want me to do an up-to-date one, I can do, but it's not really changed what's inside that much. The reason why I think this case is annoying me more than anything is my handle is broken, so it won't go down any further than this. I have been in contact with Samsonite and they're like, just buy a new handle and replace it yourself. And I'm like, no, I paid almost £100 for this case. I don't particularly want to be doing that, and it's still in warranty, so I'm trying to kind of fight this a little bit, but I'm like, do I fight this or get myself a new case? That's the argument I'm having with myself. So I got these little cabin crew tags from Crew Shoes, I think it was. Yeah, Crew Shoes. And I do recommend these. It's just kind of helpful to have on your bags. It's good for ground staff or other people to know that the bag that's in the locker is a crew bag. And it's also good to put your staff number on these, as when you're cabin crew you do get an individual staff number. Pop that on the side somewhere. I haven't done it on this one, but I do need to. But yeah, pop it on there, and it's just good. If you ever lose it or if anything ever happens, the bag can be traced back to you. So this is the inside of the case. It's got a very deep pocket here and then a smaller pocket, which sometimes I do put my laptop in so I can edit when I'm en route. But I tend to keep like my bag in there, some spare tights, my work shirt, pajamas, underwear in this side, just so it's easy to grab and go. In this side of my case, I tend to keep the same stuff in there all the time. So I've bought all of this stuff specifically just to keep in my case for ease. So let's pull it all out and I'll show you one by one exactly what is in here. So the essential bits that I always keep in my suitcase is tape. It sounds so silly, but when your suitcase breaks when you're en route, it is the most soul-crushing feeling ever. I've had it with previous cases in the past, which is why I went for a soft shell one, but this is helpful either way, even for things like my handle. If that ever comes off, I can just kind of tape it back on just to keep it going until I get home. So that's quite an important piece of kit to have, as silly as it sounds. I bought this particular belt from Shein. It's a really good belt. It's got the loops all the way around, so you can adjust it exactly how you need to. And it's just always handy to have a belt of some kind in your case. I think I spent like £3 or £4 on this, so you really don't have to break the bank to get stuff like this. But it's just really handy to have, and I find something like a belt is easily forgotten. Sunglasses in a sunglasses case. This is a really old case from Primark. As you can tell, it's totally falling apart. But these sunglasses are also from Primark, and it's just good to have some really cheap sunglasses that you don't mind losing or ruining, keeping in your case permanently, because sunglasses are very important when you go to some of the countries that we go to. And having it in a case means that they don't break inside your case. A plastic cutlery pack. So the reason I say plastic is because some places around the world do get a little bit funny about cutlery. So you're not really supposed to bring like metal cutlery. Having a plastic cutlery pack is really good. This one I think I paid £5 for in Asda. So there you go, another item you don't have to break the bank with. And yeah, in there you get a spoon, knife and a fork. Flip-flops are a must. These are just so handy to throw on, like when I go and get an Uber Eats en route and I don't really want to put on my Converse, just throw these on, super handy, and they're like, what, £1 in Primark, and you can get so many different colours. Period pads, need I say any more on that? In fact, I have 2 bags of sanitary towels. A little bag with some tea bags in. This is probably personal choice. I've got green tea in here. But just having your own tea bags just really makes a difference. You don't even realise. I definitely recommend picking up a laundry bag. So this was just one that I actually pinched from one of the hotel rooms. It's only plastic, so they have replaceable ones of these, so it's not too bad. But I just find these so handy just to keep everything separate. You can just pull this out your case and just throw it straight in the washing machine when you are home. I have to say, if I was to say a shoe of choice when it comes to packing for trips, Converse or Vans is the one, because I feel like with Converse you can kind of dress up or dress down, and they're always comfy, aren't they? And I just keep my plain black ones in here just to have with me on every trip. Doesn't take up too much room if you pack them the right way. If I show you how I normally pack them, I normally sort of position them like this, and it doesn't particularly take up that much room. These little old school style Pandora boxes are actually really useful as little jewelry boxes in your suitcase. So this is something you can definitely make use of if you've got them lying around, because I'm sure you do. Inside of here I literally have some gold hoops, some silver hoops, some little studs, some rings, just to accessorize if I want to when I'm doing something a little bit more fancy down route, if I'm going for like a nice meal or something. This isn't for everyone, but retainers, if you have them, make sure they go in, because you never know if you're going to get stuck somewhere and you think, oh, I'm just away for a night, my retainers aren't essential if you don't wear them every night, but take them with you, because if you get stuck, your teeth will be ruined. If you are wondering why there is a hairband around them, that is because my case is broken. And if you want to know the reason why it's broken, it's because I maybe got a little bit upset when I lost my iPad in Phoenix. Oops. Because I'm going to the US, obviously I need my US travel adapters. I know these are really old, but they do the trick, and most of the time in hotel rooms they just have USB ports anyway, but it's just handy to have those for things like my straighteners and things like that. There is a couple of things that I always keep in my rucksack. So this one's from Primark, if you didn't know. It's just really big but packs flat as well. So inside here I always keep in here a reusable Target bag, sanitary towel because you never know, a mask, some tissues, painkillers, essential, and I also keep in here a smaller purse just so I can transfer the cards that I need. For instance, if I ever got robbed, then I only lose 1 or 2 cards, I don't lose my whole purse. And finally, my makeup bag. This is a really nice size one. I do recommend getting a bigger one. And this one does fold down quite nice and tightly, so once again doesn't really take up too much room in my suitcase. So the 3 things that I keep in my makeup bag permanently are makeup wipes, my hair donut, and I also have this little pink bag, which I think I must have got at Christmas. I think it was from my nan. I'm sure some of you guys get these little bags with like cosmetics in at Christmas and just have no idea what to do with them. And this is the perfect example of what to do with them. So in here, I literally keep all of my hair stuff. When I started being cabin crew, I literally went to Primark. I picked up all the hair accessories that I think I'm going to need. So I went and got a £1 pack of hairbands from Primark. Some more hair grips. I think I got these particular ones from Shein, but they're just really handy ones that I use to keep my particular donut bun in place. Some different kind of hair grips, again from Primark, I think about £1 again. My scrunchie that goes around my donut, and I also keep in there some different types of hairbands just to have to keep my hair out of the way when I'm away if I can't be bothered to just do anything with it really. So yeah, that's kind of a useful way you can put these little bags to use. Bye then. Right, so makeup wise, this is all like the dry makeup that I bring with me, so not liquids essentially. So all of my brushes, they definitely need a clean. It's been a while. Yeah, I'll do that when I get back from LA. That's not a task I want to be dealing with today. I got this little pocket palette from Sephora ages ago, and the colours in here are really nice. Very all-round colours, and I think complement my blue eyes quite well as well. Everything else in my collection is pretty much items that I just haven't changed in my routine for a long time, which is why I was saying in one of my last vlogs, I really just want to start buying new makeup to fall in love with it again. So I have these 2 Kiko bronzer and blushes. They're both really good. This one's probably a little bit too orange for me. I need to go for more neutral, cooler blushes, but it does the job and it just gives me a nice bit of colour. Also this highlighter, I mean, it is falling apart. It's MUA, really good, really pigmented, but yeah, it's pretty much on its last legs. Rimmel Match Perfection is a powder I have known and loved for a long time. Really, really good price. But I do actually want to try the Beauty Crop stuff. And I know they have a Vitamin Babe powder that's also a loose powder. And I'm really into my loose powder. So I think I might give that a try at some point in the future. ABH Dipbrow Pomade. I mean, it's one of the best shade matches I've had to my eyebrows ever. And I've not been able to find an alternative. So she'll be staying in my collection for a long time. Eyeliners, white, black, and also liquid. I do find, even though this is a liquid, it tends to not get picked up in security. In fact, I've never had it picked up at security. I mean, now I've said it, it probably will get picked up. That's the top tip from me. If it has mils on it, ml on the product, as its measurement, it has to go in your liquids bag, which we'll discuss in a second. My eyelash curlers, and finally my Morphe Beauty Blender, which I did wash actually the other day with my clothes, and it's actually come out alright. Nice and clean for my next trip. So now moving on to my liquids bag. I will link this particular liquids bag in the description box below because it is such a good liquids bag. I paid £10, I got 2 of them, and they are just so roomy. They can really bulk out, you can fit so much in there, and I've never been pulled up at security for it, so I think it's a win-win. So these are all my liquid makeup products. So the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturiser is very good, actually, very, very good. And it's just a nice alternative to foundation if you want something a bit more lighter coverage. I do also have this Dermacore Foundation, which is the complete opposite of the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturiser. Very full coverage. It's just a bit more of a, like I said, full coverage product to have in your bag. And because it's such a small packaging, it doesn't take up much room at all. The NYX Shine Loud liquid lipstick is incredible. I'm not even lying to you when I say that I put this on at the start of the flight. By the end, it is still there. Obviously, it probably needs a top up, but it is still there. So this one is in the shade On a Mission. I also have the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. It used to be one of my favourites, but I have to say I've gone off of it. I don't know why, I've just kind of strayed away from it now, and my alternative, which I need to put in there, is actually the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. Such full coverage, and the shade match is incredible. I also realised I forgot to put my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer in my bag as well. I also have the Sky High Maybelline Mascara, which is my favourite mascara ever, and I will not be straying away from this product for a long, long time. And then finally, just to have a lip gloss in my bag, I have this Morphe lip gloss. I think it's in the shade Mercury. Here is the other miscellaneous liquids that I have in my liquids bag. So, of course, hairspray. Unfortunately, the Schwarzkopf Max Hold, which I use at home, they don't have in a mini. So I go for this Tresemme one, which is just as good, to be honest. Just a very bog standard deodorant. I go with Shaw. I really like this one. I do have some nail varnish with me and some nail varnish remover. It does say brush cleaner, but ignore that, it is nail varnish remover. And I have that in my bag because sometimes I do like to put a little bit of glitter on my nails, and I do have to put a uniform standard colour over those sometimes, so I do keep those in there. And I also have in here some bite cream, which is honestly essential. You are in such a sticky situation when you get a bite and it's so itchy, and this cream is absolutely incredible. I love it. You can get it on Amazon, in drugstores. I think you can get it over the counter in pharmacies, that kind of thing, but it's such a good cream. Contact lenses, some Nivea cream, because I do have a little bit of eczema on my arm, and this has been a real help with that. Plus it's nice to kind of moisturise your hands throughout the flight with some decent moisturiser. Some argan oil from Beauty Works. It's just nice when your hair's feeling a little bit dry. Sun cream, again, ignore the packaging, it's just purely for size convenience. I've had this little bottle and I just refilled it with my favourite sun cream, which is, so it is this one, it's the Asda Glow one. It's factor 30 and it just makes your skin literally glow with glitter, like gold little speckles of glitter. I mean, it's really, really good. 5 UV stars, and it's just really, really pretty. I have some toothpaste, which I think I'll need to get some more of because I'm running a little bit low, but that's something I can get in LA. I definitely recommend picking up an atomizer. So these, I think this one's particularly from the fragrance store. You literally just twist it, pops up, and I put in there my favourite scent of all time, which is YSL Libra. So good. You literally just pop that out and you just refill it, which I think I might need to refill at some point. I have some shower gel in here, just a little Ted Baker mini. Again, something I got for Christmas and I just keep refilling. It's a really good size. Another use for something like this. And finally, my moisturiser of choice, which is the Simple Triple Protect Moisturiser in SPF 30. I do like this one, but it literally is the consistency of sun cream, and I think I've mentioned in the past, I really don't like sun cream. I really like the one I got from Asda because it doesn't make your skin feel sticky, but this one kind of does. And I have been trying a new SPF lately, which is the Bondi Sands SPF 50. Really good. Does not have any fragrance to it, which I love, and it soaks in so quick. So I think there's going to come a point where I'm going to replace that one with this one. It's also quite thin in size, so shouldn't take up too much room in my liquids bag. There are definitely some bits missing from my liquids bag, such as I've been trying the Inculist Oat Cleansing Balm to take my makeup off, and I would much rather have that in my liquids bag than face wipes in my makeup bag, but sometimes it's a bit give and take. You do just have to kind of go with what's convenient sometimes when you're travelling, so face wipes is often more convenient. And if I ever find a way to try and make the Inculist stuff more convenient in my liquids bag, I definitely will. I also do have some night cream in my bag normally for night moisturising, but I ran out on my last trip, so this is a reminder to get some. Hairbrush wise, lately I have been bringing this Beauty Works Molly May one because it's quite good for making my hair really slick when I put it back for work, for my bun, and also it's really good for brushing out the hairspray as well. So that's a good one I recommend. It's a bit bulkier. I mean, an alternative might be a Tangle Teaser, which is a very common option normally. I do have like a Tangle Teaser equivalent, which I often keep in my topper bag because that's useful to have in there when I check in a case. For instance, if my case didn't show up and I don't have a hairbrush with me, it's a little bit of an issue. And I also transfer my makeup wipes into that bag as well if I'm checking in a case, because again, if I can't take my makeup off, that is an issue. So maybe I should do a different type of pack with me, but for checking in a suitcase rather than a cabin case, because that is slightly different. I do some slightly different things there. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that as well. Now moving on to the part of packing that I actually hate, and that's clothes. All of what you've just seen me pack there takes me no more than 10 minutes. Clothes takes me close to an hour. It's really hard to plan outfits when you don't know what you're going to be doing on that trip, plus the weather can be unpredictable, and also there's nothing worse when you try to plan an outfit and when you're here you think, oh yeah, that looks alright. Then when you get to the destination you're flying to, you think, what the hell was going through my head when I packed this in my suitcase? So in the little pocket here, I keep in here my bikini, which is this green one from Primark. Has some high-waisted bottoms with it as well. Really like this one. I always recommend some strapless bikinis because it saves on the tan lines. Some tights because spare tights is essential. I keep some spare tights in here but also in my topper bag as well. Pajamas wise, I do tend to like to always have leggings as pajamas if I can help it, and also just like a basic top. The reason I say leggings specifically is because I find I do like to sleep with the aircon on at night, and just having a little bit of an extra layer, it just keeps me a little bit warmer. It's like if I have the aircon off, I am just literally bathing in my own sweat in bed. But if I have it on, I'm just a very comfortable temperature. Maybe more on the chillier side, but I'd rather be that way. And then, yeah, a basic top. The reason I say these two as well is because there have been instances in the past where I've heard the fire alarm go off. So it's quite handy to have some pajamas that don't look so much like pajamas, I guess, and also just throw on my flip-flops at the same time. So you kind of got to be prepared for any kind of situation you could be faced with. So what fills in the rest of the space is some socks and my underwear, also a spare work top, and then I tend to put my bag on top of all that. It's also a bit of a fright when sometimes the security like to go through your bag as like a random check and they see your underwear right on show there. But it is my case. But yeah, if you want to know what kind of bras I like to wear in flight, I have had this question before. I like to go for these Primark ones. So they're kind of like sports bras, but they do have padding still. No wires or anything. They're so comfy, and you get these in like a pack of 3 or 4, I think. They're like £10, I think, for a pack. Very annoyingly, I've just realised that I was filming a lot of the clothing segments in slow motion, and it doesn't pick up any sound, so that's great. But what I think I'll do is I'll do like a little lookbook that's very 2014 YouTube. When I get to LA, I'll show you the outfits that I actually put together so you can see them on me. I think that actually might be better than what I filmed anyway. The final thing I'm going to throw into my suitcase, aside from all the clothes I've packed, which I've just showed you, is a hat, because LA weather can be very deceiving. Yes, 29 degrees will definitely feel like 29 degrees, but sometimes it just doesn't. Being on the coast, it's a little bit breezy and you think it's bearable, and then you don't put sun cream on and don't put a hat on, and that's the mistake I made one of the last times I went to LA, and I know I definitely vlogged it because my face totally swelled up and I had a real bad sunburn, and that was not fun. So I've learned my lesson the hard way, and I have pretty much every trip since then made sure to pack a hat. So that's as much as my case is going to close at the moment. So you can see why the extender is helpful to me, but at the same time it's not helpful because I know it's just going to fall on the floor and cause me a major embarrassment. So let me close this and see if it actually does that. See what I mean? So irritating. So at Heathrow as crew, for some reason we have a different rule to passengers where we have to take all of our electricals out of our bag that are bigger than a mobile phone. So this particular camera I have to take out. My GoPro's okay. Straighteners, hair dryers, travel kettles, anything like that has to come out into a separate box out of your case. Very annoying. It's been a rule for about a year or 2 now. Yeah, it is very inconvenient, but you make it work. So basically, since that rule came out, I actually bought one of these fake long shunt bags. Very handy, very, very handy. It looks quite thin, but it really does like stretch out fully. It is an extra thing to go on top of my suitcase because it does have a little strap at the back to slot over the suitcase, so it is an extra reason for it to fall over. But it's quite handy. Rather than having to reach into my case, undo the lock and get all my electricals out, I tend to just put them in here. If I do say so myself, I have definitely improved my packing since I've started being cabin crew. I used to be a terrible packer, and my motto was if a trip was 4 days or longer, without fail I would check in a suitcase. But obviously since the low staffing levels at the airport have been going on, and there's been a lot of trouble with people losing suitcases and them not turning up after flights, I cannot deal with that anxiety. So I try and just put as much as I can into my cabin case to avoid having to check in the suitcase. So because of that, I've had to force myself to become a better packer. I know you're probably thinking, Chloe, your case is still bulging, but let me tell you, if you could have seen me at the start of my flying career, it wasn't good. So that is pretty much my packing done. Obviously everything else that's essential that I need for my trip, I just permanently keep in my topper bag, like my passport, my chargers, all of that stays in there, all of my essentials for the flight as well. So like I said earlier, if you want me to do a video dedicated to my topper bag, an up-to-date one, let me know. And also if you'd like to see a check-in bag packed with me, also let me know. I have been very privileged actually to meet a few of you guys that watch my videos at work that do fly for my airline that have recently joined, and it's been so good to meet some of you, and it's quite nice to hear from you as well that you do like these chatty videos. So I hope all of you feel the same, but I'm sure a lot of you do find it a little bit annoying. But unfortunately I do need to chat to you guys to kind of talk about my job sometimes and give you the useful information that you need to know that you don't always get told before you start flying.